All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give our praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honor to all the Apostle Great Millstone, Tommy Truth and Rule Well. Peace, blessing, and salutation to Akim out there, scattered abroad to the four corners of the earth. That's serving the truth, thought, and sincerity. So I say Shalom. This is Brother Nabala to another video in the spirit. And this video is going to be about, the brotherhood, and how to treat brothers, and just being thankful, for the brotherhood, and that's something that you don't want to lose, man. You want to take for granted, because being out here in this world, and when you come out from the world and you come into this truth, you get an understanding of what it truly mean, to have, real brothers, people who you can actually, rely on, go to for counsel, conversation, anything, and it's genuine. You don't have that out here in the world, man. So it's good, to have the brotherhood, man, and to hold on to it, because there's nothing like it in this world, man. I'm gonna grab this. This is Psalms 133:1. It says, a song of degrees of David. It says, behold, how good and how pleasant is it for brethren to dwell together in unity. Yeah. You dwelling, with like-minded, brethren. We all in this truth. We all came out of the world, man. We all believe in the same thing. We speak the same thing. We're here in GMS, we do. And you get to hang with brothers. You get to, you get to be yourself. Out here in the world, you gotta have basically a mask on. You can't truly be yourself. You can't truly say what you want to say. But when you're around brothers, you're able to do so. We're united. In one. So it's good to be with that. That's why you want to make sure that you're doing right by brothers, man. Let me see. I got it in my notes. I'm gonna grab this. This is Ecclesiastes 4:9. It says, 2 are better than 1, because they have good reward for their labor. It says, for if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow, but woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he have not another to help him. It says, again, if two lie together, then they have heat. How can one be warm alone? Yeah, 2 is better than 1. It's good to have brothers that you can rely on, in this truth. Brothers who's going to be there with you. Brothers who's going through the same thing that you're going through, brothers that can help you with anything that you need help with. That's what this brotherhood, is for, man. To help brothers. Because it's hard out here, in the world to get help, And then with the thing with the brothers is brothers don't, brothers not looking for nothing in return. If a brother lends you something, and make sure, you get a brother, their money back, or you make sure that you, get back whatever the brother gave you. But still, if you're not able to and you're in need, a brother will give it to you, with no strings attached, no questions asked, if you're in need. It's not like that out here in the world, man. In the world is always stipulations, especially when you're dealing with Jake. They be like, you give them something, well, when I'm going to get it back? And then they always on you about it. They on your head 24/7. Or they I ain't got it. Knowing they do, just don't want to help you out. But it's not like that with the brotherhood. The brotherhood, is real, man. That's why you gotta make sure that I'm gonna say it again, you're doing right by brothers, man. Don't be trying to get over on brothers, man. That's not cool. And the Lord sees that. Don't think that things are not being unseen, what you're doing. Let me grab this. This is Tobit 4. In 18, it says, ask counsel of all that are wise, and despise not any counsel that is profitable. Yeah. That's one thing we get from brothers, man. It's counsel. You know, you can go to brothers about anything, and they'll give you counsel about it. You know, it says, despise not any counsel that's profitable. Don't despise the counsel that's going to help you, man. Sometimes getting counsel requires a brother to get on you. You know, don't despise it just because you're getting got on at that moment. Listen to exactly what's being said and understand that it's the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai speaking through that brother. You know, that's something that the apostles and elders say all the time. You know, don't just look at the man speaking. Listen to what's being said, especially a man in his truth, because it's coming from the spirit. You know, so take heed to what's being said. You know, and getting counsel is more times often to help you, to steer you in the right direction. Brother's not gonna give you counsel that's gonna hinder you or to put you in any predicament. It's to help you. It's to help you to avoid something. You know. So take heed. It's especially men that's been in this thing, you know, for a while. They have a lot of experience. They've seen a lot of different things, you know. That you know has different tactics, you know, as far as studying, reading, you know. Take heed to all of that stuff and use it for yourself. That's part of the attributes that the brotherhood has, man. Ways and things that you can learn from brothers to help build yourself up, to help you grow in this thing, man. Because it's men that set up over us that's been this thing longer than us, you know, that we can learn a lot of stuff, a lot of things from. You can't learn nothing from niggas out here in the world. Yeah, you got Jake or, you know, men that's elderly, you know, they might have done a couple of things. They may have, you know, be doing good for themselves, but they don't even want to tell you. You know, in this world, Jake wants you to go through growing pains, man. Or if you do try to get some wisdom or some knowledge, they want to charge you for it, man. Or they want to give you a little bit. You know, they don't give you everything, because one thing Jake in the world is they don't ever want to see nobody else doing good with them. They want to be the only one on top. But it's not like that in this ministry. Brothers want every brother to do good, man. Brothers want all brothers to, you know, to grow, you know, to be on some type of level, you know. If you're a part of this truth and you're in this camp, man, brothers want you to get all this wisdom and knowledge, understand that you can. Brothers not gonna hide nothing from you. Brothers not gonna hide a breakdown from you. Brothers gonna tell you what it is because they want you to get it. And they want you to get it right, so you can go out there and edify the sheep, man. This is real love, what happens in this brotherhood. That's why when you come over here to Hebrews 13:1, it says, let brotherly love continue. Let me make sure. Yeah. It says, let brotherly love continue. So let that brotherly love continue, man. How do you show brotherly love, man? By being charitable to brothers, man. You know, if a brother needs you, you know, be willing to help a brother. You know, willing to sacrifice time for a brother, man. You know, if a brother's putting time aside, you know, to help you, you know, take heed to it, you know. Don't be having our brothers waste his time, you know. And also, being honest with brothers, you know. You got to be honest with brothers, man. Because if you think like I said, you think you getting over on the brother, you're not getting over the brother, you know. You think you getting over your Yahweh Shem Shai, you not. The Lord sees everything. Like brother saying, they're just men. You know, they can't see everything, but don't be out here, just trying to be a good brother in front of brothers, man. And behind closed doors, you'll hold another person. You got to be the same way you are around brothers when you out here, when you're not around brothers, man. Yahushua said that. Not what you done in my presence, but what you do in my absence. Roughly paraphrasing that scripture. How are you when you're not around brothers, man? That's really shows your integrity, and your conduct. You want to have a good report, out here in the world. People shouldn't be able to say nothing about you. Nothing against you. Be like, man, he don't mess with us. He be in his own lane, own world. And that's how it should be. And like the scripture says, if it's possible, live peaceful with all men. Use wisdom when you out here moving. But back to the point, man, just letting that brotherly love continue. Doing all those things that are good to brothers. I'm gonna grab this. Come back over here. This is 1 Thessalonians 4:9. It says, but as touching brotherly love, you need not that I write to you, for yourselves are taught of Yahweh to love one another. Yeah, so we're supposed to, love one another, man. Do it to a brother what you would want done to yourself. Like that saying in the world, treat people how you want to be treated. You wouldn't want a brother to do you a certain way, so don't do a brother a certain way. We're not niggas, man. We're not niggas in this truth, man. When you come into this truth, you like brothers say all the time, you put off that old person that you were, you put off that old ways that you once used to do. And you become a new person, man. That's why our brothers urge brothers to come around. To be involved. Because that's going to help you grow too. That's going to help you learn how to conduct yourself too. Just from observing how brothers deal amongst each other. That's something I've learned. Seeing how charitable brothers are. How willing brothers are to help and to do this and to do that, man. How humble brothers are. Yeah, you read the scriptures, and we practice that. But when you get to see it, it helps you as well. Damn, I see how this brother did this or how that brother does that. I'm gonna try to follow that. But you're only gonna learn that if you're around. If you're not, like brother said, if you're not sowing a lot of time in the spirit and sowing too much time in the world, what's gonna outweigh what? You're gonna put on more. You're gonna allow the things in the world to have more of effect on you than the things in the spirit. That's why it's better just to be around brothers, man. So many things happen around brothers. Spiritual conversation, precepts come up, questions. A lot of spiritual things happen. Like brothers say, it's not just a hangout, man. Yeah, brothers have a good time. Because what? Like it says, we're dwelling in unity. Brothers like being around brothers, man. It's like our own little domain. But a lot of spiritual things be happening too when you be with brothers. Like the scripture say, when 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I'm in the midst. Yahushua is in the midst when numerous of brothers are around. When we just had a visit from the brothers from Chicago, and the elder came. Yeah, we was good to see brothers. We was enjoying each other's company, but it was a lot of spiritual conversation as well too. That helped me, and I'm pretty sure it helped other brothers. But you don't get that unless you're around, man. So you got to be around. Got to be involved. I'm going to grab this. What was it? Salaki. 1 Peter. 1 Peter 2 and 17 says, honor all men, love the brotherhood, fear Yahweh, honor the king. Yeah, honor all men, you know. We honor our apostles, we honor the elders before us, but also honor the men that's in your camp, especially the men that's been in this thing before us, and the men that set up over us, our camp heads, leaders, and all of that. Honor them, man. You know? And even brothers who are not in leadership positions, but they're over you in the spirit because they've been in this thing longer than you, honor them too. Don't be treating brothers differently, man. Don't treat a brother like this when you wouldn't do that to the head, man, or to one of the brothers in a leadership position. Treat all brothers, right, man. Show brothers that honor that they deserve, man. Being in this truth with you, man. Going out there on the highways and byways with you. Going out there to the battlefield with you, man. Going through the fire with you. Honor these men. Honor your brothers, and love them. And if you really fear the Lord, then you would do that. If you don't do those things, then you truly don't fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Because I'm gonna grab this and then I'm gonna close out. It's Matthew 25 and 40. It says, and the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, insomuch as you have done it unto the least of these my brethren, you have done it unto me. Yeah. And Yahweh Shai, went into that when you read up. Whatever you done, to the least of the brother or to any brother in this truth with you, it's basically like you done into Yahweh Shai. So that's something that you should always remember. This is a scripture that should always be in your mind when it comes to dealing with brothers, man. Would you do that to Yahweh Shai? No. So if you wouldn't do it to Yahweh Shai, then you shouldn't do it to brothers, man. Because we all come in the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So yeah, we make sure that you're doing brothers right and doing right by brothers, man. And don't take for granted this brotherhood. It's gonna come a time, like the scriptures say, man. Pilgrims upon earth. Scripture says, seeking to desire to see in another man's face. We don't know, man. We don't know, and when all hell's break loose, so we gonna be dwelling with brothers. You might be out here on your own. So don't take the time that we have to be with brothers, for granted. And do brothers right, man. So that's pretty much it. Lower in this video is edifying. I'm going to close out by giving our praises to Yahweh, B'Shem Yahweh Shai, B'Shem Rakakadash, Shalom.